Welcome to Be Your Own C.E.O show. My name is Prisca Achuki. Today I'm so privileged to have a honored visitor. He will help us know or rather improve on how to be our own CEO. I don't want to say so much. I would love to give him this chance. My prayer or rather my request to you is that you may focus and that you may listen keenly, and I know that at the end of this discussion we will be able to know how to improve in different areas. Welcome. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Do you mind telling our viewer your name, please?
Yes, thank you very much. Our viewer, my name is Robinson.
Yes.
Ouma Anguba.
Yes.
I love Jesus as my personal savior.
Yes.
He took me from nothing to something.
Amazing.
Yeah.
When you mention nothing to something,
Yes.
what does that mean to someone who is at this moment
Yes.
is just saying that I am done?
The reason why I said that Jesus took me from nothing to something is because from where I'm coming from
Yeah.
to where I am,
Yes.
I can easily say that it has taken the grace of God.
Amazing.
Because from the time Robinson was born,
Yeah.
things were not adding up.
Yes.
And even the English I speak,
It wasn't the same English.
it wasn't the same English.
Yeah.
So I just want to encourage someone that, God can still work out something in your life,
Mm-hmm.
not depending on where you went to school,
Amazing.
but depending on what He has for you.
Amazing.
When you hear God say, "For I know the plans I have for you,
Mm-hmm.
for I know the thoughts
Mm.
that I have towards you,"
Mm-hmm.
those are powerful thoughts, and nothing can take away the mind of God
Amazing.
in your life.
Now, just to take you back, before
Yes.
you're called an apostle, I believe there are
Yes.
some things that you had to overcome.
Yes.
What are those things that can help our brother or our sister back at home?
Wow. Thank you very much, sister. Before I became what I am today,
Yes.
I had to overcome some things in my life.
Yes.
And one of the things that was so hard
Mhm.
for me to overcome,
Mhm.
it's fear.
Fear.
Because, I used to fear life so much.
Yes.
Fearing life to an extent of, even if God tells me something, I'll still question. Are you the one telling me to do this?
And that means your background was a bit bitter?
Yes, my background was a bit bitter because being born in the family of five,
Yes.
and this is amazing because many will not. Those who knows me, they know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Because being born in the family of five and
Yes.
raised up with a single parent, mother.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and at this point, the other brothers and sisters,
Yes.
they all know where they belong,
Mm-hmm.
and the apostle in between,
Mm.
not even knowing who is the father.
Oh, sorry.
It was really hard, and it was a bit frustrating
Yeah.
to accept myself.
Yes.
Why? Because like we all know in African way, like any other, in any other place in the world,
Yeah. Yeah.
when a son is growing,
Yes.
there comes a place when you have to, ask your father needs. You
Mm,
don't
who's
need
my
to ask.
father? Yeah.
You don't need to ask. You need to have that father
The
love.
answer's ready.
Yeah, father's love and
Yeah.
inherit, the part of inheritance and all that.
Yeah.
But it came to a place whereby I looked at myself and I was like, oh my God, so I think the best thing to do is to commit suicide,
Wow.
which gave me a lot of fear in life
Yeah.
because I never saw my biological father,
Yeah.
and life was very hard, and
Yeah.
I tried to really think, and one day I even took a poison. And I said, that's when my uncle chased me away at 2 a.m. at night.
Wow. And
And
how old were you then?
that was about 19 years.
Wow.
19
You're
years.
still young. Yeah.
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 19 years, and my uncle chased me away, at night. And he told me, go, you know. So with that one in mind, I took my cloth in small paper bag, and I left. And I thank God for my grandma who sold one of her, what do you call it, hen, you know, the big one. And
I'm laughing because even if you sell hen, what will it do?
She took it to the market the following day.
Oh no.
And that really helped me to get out of up country and came to Nairobi.
Wow, so you're being chased?
Yes.
And your grandmother is here selling one of his, she values?
Yes.
And now you have to come to Nairobi?
Yes.
I can imagine the state which you are in.
And not looking very good because I was looking funny.
When you say funny, what do you mean?
I mean, you know, the dress code was not adding up.
Yes.
You know, the dress code was not adding up.
Yes.
I didn't know how much it will take for one to have a shoe.
Oh.
You know.
And so where were you going?
Well, my mother was in Nairobi.
Okay.
But I myself, I knew very well I had never gone to Nairobi.
Okay.
So I was just I'm just going to Nairobi, in a place called so. So when I came and
with the confused dress code.
With confused mind, with my cloth in the paper bag
and the shoes,
and
I suppose.
I came to Nairobi, if I can remember very well. You know, I came with the sneakers, the ones to use in the washroom.
Oh, the sleepers.
The sleepers,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
And so one was blue and one was red.
Okay.
And they were all wired. When I say wired, they were all wired because, you know, there was no way I could even take to there was no way I could even take to the, you know, to the guy to repair it. It was beyond repair. So I had to work it out because I need,
the protection. Yes.
And the only...
Then you can laugh about it because he's overcome.
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
Okay.
And the only shoes I had now, I thought because it was a sunny day, so I had carried the gumboots on my paper bag to be the shoes. You know.
Okay. Now you're on your way. Here you are in Nairobi.
Yes.
So with those confused shoes or confused dress code, so you're in Nairobi.
Yes.
So now, tell me, how did it go until you got the first job up to where you are now?
Fine. I think by God's grace, I would say that when I came to Nairobi and, you know, just alighting to the stage, because, you know, I was told your mother lives in this particular place.
Which you didn't even know.
Which I didn't even know, but I was just told when you reach Kangemi, that's where your mother is. And you know, so I didn't know where to start from. But amazingly, when I was just like hanging around, I saw a neighbor from home, from a distance. So I shouted at him. Then he was like, "What are you doing here?" So that was my first miracle.
The same day?
The same day.
Oh, wow.
That was my first miracle.
Wow.
And from there, the same guy took me to construction work.
Okay.
So I started
You didn't ask him about your mother?
Yes, I did. But now he was like, you know, your mother goes to this particular church. I don't know where she stays, but on a Sunday we can reach out on her because they have a lot of movement, you know, on a Sunday. So we will be checking on that. I don't know exactly where we will find her. And so in that process, it took about 2 weeks, and I started construction work.
Yes.
And one day I remember I went to do construction, and, you know, I've never done that before. And I was given some work to do, dig some work to do, dig deeper. And I remember that day I even collapsed. Wow. Because I had not eaten, you know, don't have the strength to do that. And you were told if you don't finish the measurement, you are not going to be paid. Wow. And so I left the money there because that was too much for me. That was too much for me. And then after that, by God's grace, I just talking to people, because now I'm in between, talking to people.
You've not met your mother yet?
I've not met my mother.
Okay.
Talking to people here and there. A friend of mine, and I just started to make friendship. Yes. Amen. So one of them told me, you know, you can do any work because now you're here, you don't know what to do. So I went for the cleaning services.
Okay.
So I went and I was employed as a cleaner.
Okay.
So I worked for about 3 years.
Cleaning.
Cleaning.
What kept you going? Or at what point before that question?
Okay. Now, in the process of now going to work.
Okay. Cleaning job, right?
Yes, cleaning job.
Okay.
In the process of now going to work. One Sunday morning, the guy that I was staying with.
Okay. The one that you.
Yes.
You
told me I met someone yesterday who knows where mother stays. So that was it.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I started working with all the challenges. But what motivated me, in those days, I was still in between decision making. I'm in between there.
Yeah.
Because I don't know exactly what I need to do. I don't know how tomorrow will be like. I'm confused. I'm disappointed. And even when I met my mother, and I love her so much, wherever you are, I know, Mom, maybe you are listening to this, and I love you so much with all of my heart, and you know that. I know you know that. And I remember she asked me, who told you to come to Nairobi?
Wow.
And that was
after 2 weeks.
That was a blow.
Around.
That was a blow. So I overcame bitterness because within my spirit I felt if I don't overcome this, ulcers will kill me.
True.
Because I was full of depression. There was a lot of depression in me. There's a lot of things happening in my mind, and I could not even, there was nothing like Robinson Wood is able to smile. There was nothing to smile about.
Yeah.
And so I learned so many things in that season, and there was a lot of fear, there's a lot of bitterness, there's a lot of unforgiveness within me. But by the grace of God, one day I went to a church when I was just still very new. I went to a church where I've been for many years. And I had the man of God preach, and he said, there is a young man here. You have lived in bitterness for the rest of your life. But God is saying, forgive and forget. Let go of the pain. And the church was big.
Wow.
And I didn't even mind the way, pastor will call people, and, if there is anyone,
for the altar call.
The altar call. I went running to the altar.
Wow.
When everyone was seated, and I went running to the altar, and it was just tears. And from that day, there was a turnaround.
Wow.
In my life.
Now, to men who are going through what you went through, and they have no one to reach out to,
yes,
what is your word to them? What will you tell them?
I will tell all men out there, you've gone through what...
And they're bleeding inside. Yeah.
You've gone through what I've gone through.
Yeah.
My advice will be, lean on God.
Wow.
Why? Because, our help does not come from people.
Yeah.
Our help comes from God.
Okay.
Because God has the solution.
Yes.
And when you're on the side of God, God will always fight for you.
Amazing.
Yes.
Now, maybe I just want to know, then after you've met your mom and she's saying, as we wind up, that you should not have come to Nairobi.
Yes.
So how did your relationship continue from there?
It was a bit hard, but with the time, because I now began to go to church, that I felt the Lord was speaking to me again.
And she didn't welcome you to her house at that point?
Yes, she did.
Yes.
She did. And because the house was a bit small.
Yeah.
So I thought of just trying to find out a way of starting my own life.
At 19?
Yes.
Wow.
At 19.
So you see, many youths at 19,
yes,
they are doing very unaccepted stuff. I mean, I'll say they engage in activities that the society do not accept.
Yes.
Some of them are into drugs.
Yes.
Because they don't have that love.
Yes.
What difference, or why did you choose the other way? You could just have fallen. In fact, you just have chosen to get into alcoholism. What kept you going?
In fact, thank you very much, sister. In fact, before I came from home, one of the things that was happening with me because of the level of depression, I had introduced myself to alcohol.
Wow.
And back at home we call it chana, if I'm not wrong. The chana drink. So that was like the order of the day in my life. In fact, I look very good on my head because I had left hair on my head.
You were Rastafari.
Yeah, I was like Rastafari. You know, I'm the man of the day. You know.
Can imagine.
and so, for you to overcome, you're listening to me, young man, and you're saying, how can I overcome this addiction in my life? How can I overcome this addiction? My advice will be, please, don't walk with the wrong company of people.
Amazing.
Because if you walk with, the Bible says, bad company corrupts good moral.
Amazing.
So if you're working with good people, you automatically become good.
Thank you.
If you work with bad people, you will automatically be in a mess.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Taking you back, now you're in a cleaning firm,
yes,
right?
Yes.
I believe today you're no longer there.
Yes.
What happened for you to rise from one level to another?
It's a long story.
Okay.
It's a long story because with the struggle of being paid a peanut and you're thinking about life, you're thinking what you will do, and for information coming from home, I left school not because I had no one finishes school, no one finishes school, but this we used to say, when I finish school, you cannot finish school. But I dropped out from class 7. So it was reason for that is because my grandma and grandpa, they didn't have strength to continue, especially when grandpa passed on and things were very hard.
Yeah.
So when I came to Nairobi, the next thing I did is, just with the little money I was getting, I said, I think I can still go back to school.
Sure.
And start working out in my life.
Yeah.
So even now, I'm not there. I'm not where I need to be. So I'm still on the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm overcoming many things in between. Yes.
Last words to them that are watching, just give them a word of encouragement that can make them continue and see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. My parting short word will be, my fellow viewer, wherever you are, just know who you are. Because when you know who you are and the grace you're carrying, the potential you're carrying, you will realize the purposes of God in your life.
Wow.
And as this show is very wonderful, it's very prophetic, and it's very wonderful to encourage each one of us, what I will say to each one of us today, young and old, be your own CEO.
Wow.
Be your own CEO. Don't be a duplicate. Be just originally you.
Thank you.
God will bless your life.
Wow.
Amen.
Well, you've heard it from the horse's mouth. There is nothing that is impossible. As long as you have the right attitude and you know the right buttons to press. You can never miss it when you press on God. Amen. Thank you so much for joining Your Own C.E.O show. My name is Prisca Achuki.
Amen.